Okay, in this video, we will look at elasticity, and in the upper right again, I wrote the equation used and kind of a quick little guide of what it means to be elastic or inelastic, but we'll make sense of that with an example. Okay. So first, again, a generic question. Find E of P, so find the elasticity of demand. And the formula is given by negative p f prime over the function itself. So we need the derivative. F of p also kind of threw in here. That's just q, right? Some problems will use a q, some will use f of p. It's just function notation. So we need this derivative, so q prime or f prime of p. So to do that, first, I would distribute, but I see that that's just a constant. So the derivative 400 times 116 is 0, right, because it's constant. And then I have a negative 400p squared. So that derivative is negative 800p. So I don't really need the 0. So negative 800p. So the elasticity of demand, E of p, is negative p multiplied by this derivative, negative 800p, over the original function 400 times 116 minus p squared. Right? I don't see that we get a whole lot of simplifying, but since it's all multiplied, negative times negative is positive. P times p is p squared, and then 800 over 400, since it's multiply, right, is 2. So we get 2p squared over the denominator. We just have the 116 minus p squared, and we cannot cancel those p squared, so that is done. Then it asks, is this elastic or inelastic at this price of p equals 6? Okay, so we need to plug in 6. So E of 6 is 2 times 6 squared minus 116 minus 6 squared. 2 times 36 is 72. 116 minus 36 is 80. Now, looking over here, here's how we determine if it's elastic or inelastic. If it's greater than 1, we say it's elastic. Less than 1, we say it's inelastic. So 72 over 80, I don't need to reduce. I mean, I can. It's 9 over 10, right? But either way, that is less than 1. It is inelastic. So what does that mean? So I kind of wrote this shorthand, up P, up R. So what does that mean? That means if you raise the price, now we're talking about a rate, so slightly, at this P equals 6. If we raise the price slightly, the revenue would also increase. Okay, so raising the price at 6 increases the revenue. Okay, at different price points, we'd get different results. So that's how we read that. Inelasticity, they will do the same. If I lowered the price, I would lower the revenue. If I raise the price, I'd raise the revenue. Now, again, it's slightly, right? Because if I raise the price from $6 to $100, I'm probably not going to raise revenue. At some point, people won't be willing to pay. Okay, so this is relevant around that price point. Okay. Let's look at the next one, a word problem. So currently 1,800 people ride this commuter train. They pay $4 per ticket. The number of people Q, so the demand, right, FP is willing to ride the train at that price, is given by that function. They want to increase revenue like any business would. First, determine is it elastic or inelastic at P equals 4, and then should the price be raised or lowered because, right, the price is 4 right now. Okay. So the elasticity of demand. First, we need the derivative, so Q prime. Let's go ahead and distribute. I'm going to write this one out. Okay, distributing 600 times 5 is 30, so 3,000, minus 600, rewriting p the 1/2. Now we could do derivative, that's 0, minus 1/2 times 600 is negative 300, p to the negative 1/2. Okay. And the original function, 600, 5 minus square root of p. So we now do, let's change colors, E of p. Elasticity is negative p multiplied by that, so multiplied by a negative 300. P the negative 1/2 is over square root of p, right? Over the original function, 600, 5 minus square root of p. And we know the price is 4, so we need to substitute 4 in for all these p's. So E of 4 is negative 4. Square root of 4 down here is 2, so we'd have times negative 300 over 2 over 600 times 5 minus square root of 4 again is 2. So let's reduce this. Negative times negative is positive. 4 over 2 is 2 times 300 is 600. And then in the denominator we have 600 times 3, which is 1800. So again, this is inelastic, it's less than 1. Must have read my notes wrong. I meant to do one elastic, one inelastic, but that's okay. Since we get inelastic, we should raise the price, right? Raise the price for B, because that will also raise revenue. They go in the same direction. If this result was greater than 1, we'd get elastic, so it'd mean the opposite. If I raise the price, I would lower the revenue. So we wouldn't want to do that, right? We would lower the price to raise the revenue. In elastic, the price and revenue are opposite.